So to our knowledge, if you're elected, you will be the first Mississippi governor from the coast. Where do you think your strongest support will come from, and how do you plan to get voters from North Mississippi and other folks?
Leadership should not be geographic. Our two U.S. senators both hail from the Pontotoc and Lee County area. That's 300 miles from the coast. I've not heard one coast person suggest that they don't represent the coast well, or represent Natchez well, or represent South Haven, DeSoto County, or Jackson well. Geographically, should not make any difference. Where will our support come from? It is a very broad base, I would say, emerging groundswell that you'll see everywhere we go. People have an appetite for private sector. They have an appetite for people that come out of private sector that we have succeeded in virtually every arena that we've ever been in. We do it as private citizens. We do it volunteering. Where does our support come from? It comes from everyday people that we have worked with. It's hard to be an I person, but sometimes in this environment you have to be, so I'll say it. My wife Jane has been State Businesswoman of the Year per the Mississippi Business Journal that we're sitting in your conference room right now. That was 4 years ago. We don't have a big company. She does it because that's what's right for the state. I've been Volunteer of the Year for the Mississippi Economic Development Council, National Volunteer of the Year for the Southern Economic Development Council, DAR National Community Service Award winner 2 years ago. They gave one. I've been Boy Scouts Distinguished Citizen of the Year immediately after Katrina. All that says is we do what we're supposed to do. We work with people, and we work with people all over the state. And everywhere we have gone, whatever location in the state it is, there's an appetite for it, and we're getting unbelievable support and traction, just plain and simply because we're looking down and tell you the truth and come from a private sector position of having succeeded with our resources, with our efforts, and with our personal sweat and blood, as opposed to doing it with taxpayer money or grant money. That's the difference. Support will come from the coast. It'll come from other areas of the state. It'll come hopefully from every person I have a chance to look in the eye and talk to.
Do you have any further ideas about education specifically? It's a complicated subject.
It is a very complicated subject, but at the end of the day, you have to either educate people or, and this will sound a bit callous, you either educate them or incarcerate them. Sooner or later, you're going to have some venue that's probably the case with a lot of extraordinarily undereducated people. Currently, the K-12 arena is about 48% of the money appropriated in the state of Mississippi. Public education is not only important, it's mandatory. It's got to be drilled into. All of us know that there are too many school districts. All of us know that in a state that has the limited resources that Mississippi has, you're going to have to look and think beyond where people normally look. You know, can we have 6 engineering schools? I don't know, probably not. Should you have geographically schools that teach curriculums in different geographic locations? Community college system is very accessible. It's very affordable for not only kids, but people that are non-traditional age students to go to school. You have to look at where the money is being spent, and you have to be in a position, if you're the head of an institution or if you're part of the driving force of an institution, if you want to maintain the total curriculum base you have, you've got to attract private funding. There has to be a mix of it. You really have to drill in and get endowments rolling. You have to get private money invested, and you have to get the grant research money coming in, which means you have to be an attractive institution for people. So where are the areas you drill into? You look at the overall footprint, and that's what a business leader will look at. Whether it's me or someone else that comes out of business, not politics. You'll look in the bucket. If you're looking in the bucket and you say, well, gosh, somebody says, we'll give these guys a 2 or 3% raise. Most business people have to justify every expenditure. And you look in and you say, do you really need this? Is it a necessary ingredient for either your organization or for the state of Mississippi? My father always told me that you should try to trim anywhere from 5 to 7 or perhaps up to 10% off of your budget every year of recurring expenses. Look on the tail end of what's going on, because every year you're going to need new computers, you're going to need new technology, new equipment, new capital improvement, new plan improvements. So you're going to have expenses that always come in, and even in a state That's the same case. You have expenses you just mandatorily have to keep up with. So they are increasing. So you need to look on the tail end and say, well, gosh, are these programs that we really, really need? Now, if we had just unbelievable amounts of money flowing in, you perhaps can be a little more generous with things. But right now, it's just not the case. It's not reality, and I think that's what people are looking for. They're looking for common sense, reality, and an understanding that this is how it works. This is how expenses should be put into place, and that's the skill set we bring. And it's worked in every organization we've ever been in, chambers, nonprofits, doesn't make any difference, museums, whatever group we've either been chairman of or president of. That's what people are looking for. They're looking for legitimate leadership. They don't care where it comes from, as long as it's legitimate, straight shooting, honest, incredible leadership. That's what we offer.